Are we go? Hi kids, welcome to the Late Night Picture Show. I'm kind of hot and bothered. I'm kind of hot. I was doing a lot of work. Like washing the sheets and giving Pickles a haircut and a bath. So I'm hot and I'm thirsty. In both the literal and figurative sense. Look at this. It's all foamy on the top. There's not even an egg white in there. I'm not sure what made it do that. Must be the pineapple juice. We're going all the way back to the silent days. So what we have there is called a Mary Pickford. And it's like equal parts rum and pineapple juice. And then some grenadine. And just a smidge of Luxardo. So, y'all kids have probably heard of Robert Louis Stevenson and The Strange Case of Dr. Jeckyll and Mr. Hyde. Kind of like last week when we talked about War of the Worlds, H.G. Wells. I mean, these are like literary giants. And they spawned movies. In my estimation, that's the best thing about books. So tonight, I'll show you the poster in just a minute where we'll talk about The Strange Case. I think this one's just called Dr. Jeckyll and Mr. Hyde. So, I've seen at least 3, maybe 4 versions of this movie, plus the musical play. The musical play. You guys seen that? Sebastian Bach was in it. Yeah. Like singing in a musical. I have to say, so my third wife, the Chinese acrobat, she was like really into the musical plays and the ballet and stuff and getting all dressed up and going and, picture me in like a nice suit. And my white makeup that I used to wear in the circus. and we're at the musical play. We went to see, the Phantom of the Opera and Les Miserables and, just about everything Andrew Lloyd Webber did. But the best one we ever saw was freaking Sebastian Bach in Jeckyll and Hyde. And I'm sorry, I don't know who wrote Jeckyll and Hyde. It was a pair of guys that wrote that musical play. Best one I ever saw. So I recently watched a 1968 TV movie of Jeckyll and Hyde with Jack Palance as Dr. Jeckyll and Mr. Hyde, and it was okay as TV pictures go. And of course, I've seen the 1941 Spencer Tracy version. I don't know what else. I haven't seen any brand new versions like 2023 or anything from the 2000s. But tonight, we are going to focus on John Barrymore. That's right, we're going clear back then. This is Dr. Jeckyll and Mr. Hyde from 1920. Back when Mary Pickford was first a star. Mary Pickford actually worked in show business for a long time. She didn't end when silent pictures ended. But she was born in like 1892 or some shit, like even before my grandparents. And honestly, she makes a delicious drink. So So what do we got here? Adolf Zucker presents John Barrymore in Dr. Jeckyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, in case we didn't know. The screen's greatest actor in a tremendous story of man at his best and worst. Yeah. This is a pretty nice poster for back in the day. The movie certainly wasn't that colorful, and you're not going to see it now, but like this is... well, I'll try to post this same one in my ads so you can see how bright yellow this is. We'll put that right over there. Okay. 1920 famous Players Lasky Corp. Distributed by Paramount Pictures. This is the big studio. Directed by John S. Robertson and starring John Barrymore. Now, you probably kind of all know this story, and it does not vary much from production to production. Everyone I've seen, even the musical, pretty much follow this story. A promising scientist, Dr. Jeckyll, is working on a formula to separate the good nature from the evil nature in mankind. Condemned by his peers for going against God, or "You're playing God, man." Like every one of them said it in that TV version I watched the other day. "You're playing God, man." He forges on and makes a breakthrough. He tests the formula on himself. I might add with pressure mounting. He tests the formula on himself. And we find that he has separated the two natures all right. but the bad nature didn't just float away into space. Now, I haven't read the book. You'll have to forgive me. Or if I did, it was like in 5th grade. And that was 1976. So, I don't remember in the book what was supposed to happen to the evil once he separated the two. I don't know if it was fully explained that the evil isn't just going to poof vanish. I mean, maybe they thought it would because, people were like ultra religious back then. God would just suck the evil up. Yeah, okay. But yeah, none of the movies and not even the musical play explain this. So if you know, or if you have a solid theory, just write it right down there in the comments. Just tell me, like, what was supposed to happen to the evil. Anyway, Henry drinks the potion, and rather dramatically, he turns into the hideous and nasty Mr. Hyde. And at least in this version, he actually looks different. You kind of saw that on the poster. Here's handsome Dr. Jeckyll, and here is kind of sketchy Mr. Hyde. Not exactly the same. So this Jack Palance version I'm watching, all he did is like make his eyebrows thicker, and like nobody could recognize him. It was amazing. Like what the hell? It's the same guy. He's just got like thick eyebrows. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. I'm just going off tonight for no reason. So a very dramatic change here. I liked it. He stalks the street, drinking and cavorting. Cavorting. That's a word, right? With hookers. Kind of like I like to do in my spare time. Drink and cavort with hookers. No potion required on my part. Then back to Henry and his lovely fiancée and the life of the snotty, upright citizen. After a time, however, he can no longer control the switches. They don't just happen when he drinks the potion. They kind of... No, I'm not going there. They kind of just happen at will, and he's like, rah. After a time, however, he can no longer control the switches, and the lecherous Hyde becomes murderous, trying to cover up that, yeah. Of course, even those who are nearest and dearest to him are clueless that Jeckyll and Hyde are the same individual. And when they find out, Jeckyll conveniently morphs into Hyde and whacks them on the head. I should say one by one as they find out. As they're like, wait a minute. Whack. I should have brought my cane in from the car. I have a cane in the car, just in case. Just in case. I got a touch of the arthritis in my hip. Well, you all know the rest of the story. I mean, if you don't, you must have grown up in a cave or something. Well, I don't know. So maybe... I don't know. If you're a youngster who was born in 2005 or something, how familiar are you with Jeckyll and Hyde? You don't read that in school still, right? Probably not. And yeah, there's been some newer movies. I think there was even a 2023 just last year. There was a Jeckyll and Hyde movie. So unless you're into musicals and want to go see Sebastian Bach, who's probably not still touring with the... But nonetheless, I don't know how well this story is known today. Everybody's heard of it. Let's just say that. Some of you younger folks, I know my demographic is 18 to 34-year-old males, 70% males. 18 to 34 is the highest of the age groups. So, you younger folks, you get on there and you tell me. How familiar are you with Jeckyll and Hyde? Have you seen a bunch of them? Okay, before I sum up, I just want to add that I was just looking, and not only was there the book in 18 whatever, but there were 7 versions of this movie before this 1920 silent movie. 7. This is the 8th movie made after the book. Okay. Barrymore's performance is amazing, especially the menace he brings to Hyde and the agony that he brings to the transformation. Like I said, it's retching. Unfortunately, the rest of the actors are pretty stiff. Your basic, it's the early movies, and you got a bunch of stiff stage actors for the most part. The movie is slow paced at first, and the score is so annoying. And I don't know if this is always the case, but certainly with the version I have, the score was so annoying that I turned the volume off halfway through the movie. I have to recommend watching this one on mute, unless yours has a better score than mine does. I pulled out the bongos here. And provided a much better score myself. With the sound off And a much more lively second half of the movie. It's a solid 3-ring circus. Dr. Jeckyll and Mr. Hyde, 1920. I would give the TV one. It was a little slow. And obviously, I would also give it 3. The Spencer Tracy one I haven't seen recently enough. Might rank that one a little higher. There was another one, Lionel Atwill, maybe? I don't know. We're not going to cover them all. The musical's great. If you get a chance to see the musical, if you have like $150 or whatever it costs to go see one of these musical plays, Broadway musical plays, then yeah, I recommend it. So we're gonna kiss this Mary Pickford. And it's so good, and I got a can of pineapple juice open. We're going to keep making these, so let's all go to the lobby and grab ourselves a drink. We'll be back for our second feature, which is actually kind of 2 features in one. See you in a few minutes, kids.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.